So this is the kick on side drill. So the key areas we're trying to look at with the kick on side drill is more about developing posture and also just getting a feel for where we want our lead hand to be at the front of the stroke. So it's more about just holding our posture nice and strong and getting comfortable in that position. So we start on our side. You can start on either side, whichever you prefer, but obviously making sure that we work on both sides. You might find one side's a little bit easier to do than the other. If that's the case, it's worth doing a little bit more focus on the side that's a little bit harder. And usually where harder is just that you tend to maybe roll too far into your back, or just even holding yourself in that position just feels a little bit more work. So what we do here is we just kick on our side. Ideally you want to use this with fins if you can. If not, then kick, maybe just reduce how much you do if it's hard to kick and keep yourself afloat. The fins are just going to give you enough momentum just to kind of keep you in that position. So the key things that we're looking for here is that our lead hand, so in this case the left, is deeper than the water. The common mistake that we get with this drill is that people tend to want to keep that hand too far, or the elbow too low and our hand high relative to the elbow, which just causes a braking effect, and it's not kind of in training the right position that we want to be in. So we always want to make sure that our hands below our wrist and our wrist below our elbow, holding that nice strong position. So when we're here on our side, key thing to think about is being strong and tall through the abdominals. So really thinking about stretching the chest and the abdominals just to be really long through that, and that's just going to give you really strong core engagement. And you should be trying to kind of feel some tension in the abdominals, so really trying to think about that. It's a bit of like a pressure, internal pressure inside the abdominals, and if you can get that feeling, it's worth just kind of having that as like a cue to always kind of bring that back when you're swimming or doing drills, is just holding that, because that's where the strength of the stroke will ultimately come from if we can keep that engaged. And certainly as you get tired, it's probably going to be the thing that drops off. So we keep on that side, we kick for 6, holding that, turning to breathe. And the key thing is trying not to press down. Often what happens when people breathe in this position here is that they will use their lead hand to press down to lift their head up. What we want to do here is just turn our head to the side. We get a nice bow wave coming from our forward momentum. We've got a gap here that we can take a breath into, and then we can just turn back in. So it's really, there's not much movement at all happening there. It's just holding the position and turning ourselves or turning our head to take that breath in. As I say, do on both sides. Kick. Key thing with the kick is just keeping our glutes engaged, so thinking about gripping the bum cheeks together, and think about kicking from our hips without too much knee bend. You know, we'll always bend a little bit from the knee, but the less knee bend, the better. It's more the ankle flexion we're looking for. So that's a good drill just to do, just to keep working on general posture. And it's the good thing with it is every other drill kind of comes from that. So the better you get at that drill, the easier it's going to be to integrate that into your general stroke.